Gentlemen, I need to start with a question that may feel uncomfortable, but it's one that must be asked. Why is it that nearly half of men over the age of 60 quietly suffer from weak, unreliable erections, yet so few ever find a lasting solution? The shocking truth is that erectile dysfunction is not simply a normal part of aging, as so many have been told. In fact, the real cause often comes down to something as basic as missing vitamins your body once had in abundance. Without them, your blood vessels weaken, your hormones fall, and your confidence in the bedroom fades away. My name is Dr. Mohit Khera. I'm a urologist and men's health specialist, and for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping men just like you reclaim their strength, their intimacy, and their manhood. I have seen thousands of men walk into my office feeling hopeless, only to discover that nature had already provided the answers they were searching for. Here's what may surprise you. While many men believe pills or invasive treatments are their only hope, modern science has proven otherwise. The solution is often far more natural and far more powerful than you think. Because today, I'm going to reveal 9 specific vitamins, backed by research, that can restore erections, improve circulation, and bring back the vitality you thought was gone forever. And I'll tell you this, one of these vitamins has been shown to revive erections in as little as 7 days. Stay with me, because before this video ends, you'll know exactly which one it is. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another tip that could transform your health and vitality. And I'd love your feedback. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments below. If you don't, type 0 so I know how to make these videos even more valuable for you. Now that you understand why missing nutrients can quietly steal your erections, let's dive into the very first vitamin you must pay attention to. It's the foundation of male vitality, one that fuels testosterone, strengthens your blood vessels, and directly supports powerful, lasting erections, vitamin D. 1. Vitamin D, the foundation of male vitality. When I think back to some of my earliest patients struggling with erectile dysfunction, one case always comes to mind. He was a 62-year-old man, a retired teacher, who came to me convinced that his sex life was over. He told me, "Doctor, I've tried everything, pills, exercises, even giving up certain foods, but nothing works." I remember looking at his lab results and seeing one thing stand out. His vitamin D levels were shockingly low. And I realized then, this wasn't about age at all. It was about a deficiency that was quietly robbing him of his vitality. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but for men, it's far more than that. It is the foundation of testosterone production, bone strength, and healthy blood flow. Without it, your body struggles to produce nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and allow circulation into the penis. If nitric oxide is weak, erections become soft, unreliable, or disappear altogether. The tragedy is that most men over 60 are deficient because we spend less time in the sun, our skin is less efficient at making vitamin D, and our diets rarely supply enough. When this man started supplementing with vitamin D, something remarkable happened. Within just a few months, not only did his testosterone rise, but he told me his energy returned, his mood lifted, and for the first time in years, he experienced a natural morning erection. The look on his face when he shared that story told me everything. Sometimes the simplest solution is the most powerful. And that's just the beginning. Because while vitamin D lays the foundation, the next vitamin we'll talk about doesn't just support erections. It supercharges blood flow in a way that can be felt almost immediately. 2. Vitamin B3, niacin, the blood flow booster. I'll never forget a man in his late 60s who came to me after years of frustration. He said, "Doctor, I feel like my body just doesn't listen anymore. My mind wants intimacy, but my body refuses." What he didn't realize was that the real problem wasn't desire, it was circulation. The highways that carry blood into the penis had grown stiff, narrow, and unresponsive. That's when I explained to him the power of vitamin B3, also known as niacin. Niacin is remarkable because it's one of the body's natural vasodilators. That means it helps open up blood vessels, relax the arterial walls, and allow more blood to flow where it's needed most. Erections are nothing more than blood filling the penis, and if that blood can't get there, the erection never arrives. What makes niacin so fascinating is how quickly men notice the difference. Some of my patients have reported feeling warmth and increased circulation within days of starting it. In fact, research shows that men with high cholesterol and erectile dysfunction improved significantly after taking niacin, proving that better blood flow benefits both the heart and the penis. This patient I mentioned earlier started on niacin, and the change was almost immediate. He told me with a smile, "It feels like my body finally woke up." That moment reminded me of something important. Sometimes the body doesn't need to be forced with drugs. It just needs the right support to do what it already knows how to do. But as powerful as niacin is for circulation, it's only part of the story. Because even if blood flow is restored without healthy nerve signals, the message from your brain can't reach your body. That's where the next vitamin comes in, and it's one that protects the very wiring of your erections. 3. Vitamin B9, folate, the nerve protector. One of the most overlooked parts of erectile health is something men rarely think about: the nerves. I remember a gentleman in his 70s who sat across from me and said, "Doctor, even when I try to be intimate, it feels like my body isn't responding. The spark is gone." His blood flow was decent, his testosterone wasn't terrible, but the missing link was folate, vitamin B9. Folate is essential for the way your body processes signals between the brain and the penis. When your partner touches you, or when desire stirs, it's your nerves that send that urgent message, "Get ready." Without folate, those signals become weak, sluggish, or sometimes don't arrive at all. On top of that, folate helps reduce homocysteine, a harmful compound that damages blood vessels. High homocysteine levels are very common in older men, and they silently chip away at both heart health and sexual function. I can still see the relief in that man's face when we discovered his folate deficiency. We added it to his routine, and a few months later he said, "Doctor, it's like someone reconnected the wires. I can feel things again." For him, folate wasn't just about performance. It was about regaining sensitivity, intimacy, and the confidence to respond naturally to his partner. And here's what I want you to realize. Erections are not only about circulation. They are about the harmony between blood vessels and nerves, working together like an orchestra. But even with strong nerves, your body also needs energy, the fuel that keeps everything running. And that's exactly what the next vitamin delivers in a way no other nutrient can. 4. Vitamin B12, the energy spark. There was a patient I once treated, a 65-year-old grandfather who came into my office not because he was embarrassed about his erections, but because he was simply exhausted. He told me, "Doctor, I don't have the energy to keep up with my wife, my grandkids, or even myself anymore." When we ran his blood work, the answer jumped right out at me. His vitamin B12 levels were dangerously low. B12 is one of those nutrients that most men don't think about until it's almost gone. Yet it plays a vital role in creating red blood cells, which carry oxygen through your entire body. And oxygen is the very fuel of life, especially for erections. Without enough oxygen-rich blood reaching the penis, firmness becomes unreliable, and stamina fades long before the moment is over. What makes this even more frustrating is that as we age, our stomach loses its ability to absorb B12 from food. So even men who eat fairly well often find themselves running on empty without realizing why. When my patient began supplementing with B12, the transformation was incredible. Within weeks, he told me, "Doctor, I wake up in the morning ready to move again. I feel lighter, sharper, and yes, I'm finally getting those natural erections I thought were gone forever." His story is one I've seen repeated time and again. Restoring B12 doesn't just restore sexual health, it restores a man's vitality and presence in every part of life. But energy and blood flow are only part of the equation. The highways that deliver this oxygen-rich blood must be strong, flexible, and free from damage. And that's why the next vitamin is so critical. It works like a repair crew, rebuilding the very blood vessels that carry life into your erections. 5. Vitamin C, the vessel healer. Not long ago, I met a man who told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Doctor, I feel like my body is trying, but it's just too weak to finish the job. He wasn't talking about a lack of desire. His heart wanted intimacy, but his blood vessels simply weren't strong enough to deliver. What he didn't realize was that his body had been running without one of its most powerful repair tools, vitamin C. Vitamin C is more than just an immune booster. For men, it is the quiet healer of blood vessels, the nutrient that helps rebuild the very highways carrying blood into the penis. Over the years, those highways can become inflamed, stiff, and scarred from oxidative stress. That stress eats away at your circulation like rust on a pipe, weakening erections until they're unreliable or gone. Vitamin C works as the repair crew, strengthening vessel walls, reducing inflammation, and protecting nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your blood vessels to open and fill the penis with blood. I've seen men who, after adding vitamin C to their daily routine, not only reported stronger erections, but also felt more endurance in their overall health. One man put it perfectly when he said, "I feel like my body has been patched up from the inside." When combined with other nutrients, especially vitamin E, the effects of vitamin C become even more powerful, creating a natural synergy that multiplies results. But as important as healing is, protection is equally vital. Because what's the point of repairing your blood vessels if they're left unshielded from daily damage? That's where the next vitamin steps in, acting like armor against the relentless stress that comes with aging. 6. Vitamin E, the antioxidant shield. I once had a man in his early 70s tell me, "Doctor, I feel like something inside me is wearing down faster than it should. It's not just about my erections, it's my whole body." What he was describing, without knowing it, was the slow, relentless effect of oxidative stress. This is the silent damage caused by free radicals, unstable molecules that chip away at your cells every single day. Over time, they don't just affect your heart or your memory, they also weaken your erections by attacking the very tissues and blood vessels that need to stay strong. That is where vitamin E becomes so important. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant, meaning it shields your body from this daily wear and tear. For men, it helps protect the lining of blood vessels, ensuring they stay flexible enough to deliver strong, consistent blood flow to the penis. It also enhances the effectiveness of nitric oxide, which is absolutely vital for firm erections. When nitric oxide is destroyed by oxidative stress, your body struggles to achieve or sustain arousal. But when vitamin E is present, it acts like armor, guarding those signals and keeping them sharp. I remember that same gentleman coming back a few months after adding vitamin E. He leaned in and said quietly, "Doctor, I didn't realize how much stronger I could feel, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life." His words were a reminder that protecting your body from the inside is just as crucial as repairing it. And yet, there's another hidden danger men rarely think about: calcium deposits that stiffen arteries like concrete. Repairing and protecting isn't enough if your blood vessels are turning into stone. That's why the next vitamin is a true game changer. 7. Vitamin K2, the hidden guardian of arteries. One of the most eye-opening cases I ever saw was a man in his mid-60s who told me, "Doctor, I don't understand it. I try to eat well, I exercise, but I still feel like my body isn't responding the way it should." His blood tests looked fairly normal, but when we checked his arteries, the truth was clear. Calcium deposits had started hardening his blood vessels, making them stiff and unyielding. And stiff arteries mean poor circulation, which almost always shows up as erectile problems. That's when I explained to him the role of vitamin K2, a nutrient that hardly anyone talks about, yet it may be one of the most critical for men his age. K2's job is simple but profound. It tells calcium where to go. Instead of letting calcium pile up in your arteries, where it acts like cement, K2 guides it into your bones, where it belongs. By keeping the arteries clear and flexible, vitamin K2 allows blood to flow freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of the body, including the penis. Without it, no amount of testosterone or nitric oxide can help, because the highways for blood are blocked. When this man began supplementing with K2, he later told me, "Doctor, I feel lighter, like my body isn't fighting itself anymore." His erections improved, but so did his confidence and sense of vitality. It was as if his circulatory system had been given a second chance. And here's what's fascinating. While K2 helps protect the highways of blood flow, another vitamin works deeper, at the hormonal level, supporting testosterone and desire itself. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. 8. Vitamin A, the hormone supporter. Not long ago, a man in his late 60s came to see me and admitted something most men are too proud to say out loud. He told me, "Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore. It's not only that my erections are weaker, it's that my desire has faded. I don't feel like the man I used to be." When I reviewed his nutrition and hormone profile, one thing stood out. His vitamin A levels were far lower than they should have been. Vitamin A is often known for its role in eyesight, but what most men don't realize is that it plays a critical part in hormone health, particularly testosterone production. Without adequate vitamin A, your body struggles to create and regulate the very hormones that fuel desire, energy, and sexual vitality. Over time, low vitamin A doesn't just dull your interest, it weakens sperm quality, reduces libido, and leaves you feeling disconnected from the very spark that makes intimacy exciting. When this patient began restoring his vitamin A intake, the change was remarkable. Within weeks, he told me, "It feels like my mind and body are finally on the same page again." His confidence returned, not just because his erections grew stronger, but because his desire was alive once more. For him, vitamin A wasn't simply a nutrient, it was the missing piece that reawakened his manhood. And yet, even when hormones are balanced, there's another hidden obstacle men often face: stress, anxiety, and mood swings that silently sabotage performance. The good news is that the next vitamin addresses exactly that, bringing balance to both body and mind in a way that can reignite passion at any age. 9. Vitamin B6, the mood and hormone balancer. I remember one man who came to me not simply worried about his erections, but about how he felt every single day. He said, "Doctor, I'm tired of being irritable, tired of feeling anxious, and worst of all, I'm tired of disappointing my wife. Even when my body responds, my mind doesn't feel connected." What he was describing was something I've seen many times: the silent impact of low vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 may not sound glamorous, but for men over 60, it can be life-changing. This vitamin plays a key role in regulating the neurotransmitters in your brain, the chemicals that control mood, calmness, and focus. Without enough B6, your levels of serotonin and dopamine fall, leaving you restless, anxious, and unable to fully engage in intimacy. Beyond that, B6 helps regulate testosterone production, meaning it influences both your desire and your ability to perform. For many men, this hidden deficiency creates a vicious cycle: low mood, low energy, and low sexual confidence all feeding into each other. When my patient began supplementing with B6, he returned a few months later with a smile I hadn't seen before. He told me, "Doctor, I feel lighter, calmer, and for the first time in years I actually enjoy being close to my wife again." That moment reminded me of something I tell every man. Sexual health is not just physical. It is emotional, mental, and deeply personal. B6 supports not only your erections, but also the state of mind that makes intimacy fulfilling. So here's the truth I want you to take away. Erectile dysfunction is not an inevitable part of growing older. With the right balance of these 9 vitamins, you can rebuild your vitality, restore your confidence, and rediscover the joy of connection. Your best years are not behind you. They can start again right now.